So I grew up in church. My dad was a pastor of a church, and so from as young as I can remember, I was always involved in Sunday school. I was always praying before dinner. What would Jesus do? Don't treat your sister that way. It's not what God would want, things like that. So that's the home that I grew up in. And I think it's very easy to say that my faith, I guess at that point in my life, or for those years of my life, was a faith that belonged to my parents. I had the faith because my parents told me to have the faith. It was something that I didn't understand on my own because of my own reality, because of my own understandings. It was something that was taught to me that I just accepted. And then in 2011, I had the opportunity to visit a school of discipleship in Alabama. And we were there for 3 months, just studying scripture, studying worship, studying the economy of God. It was no kumbaya, it was no, mother's milk. It was meat and potatoes. And I remember sitting there one night, during worship, we were having a communal kind of worship thing upstairs, upper room kind of thing. And it hit me. I was scared and I was nervous and frustrated. And up until this point, I didn't see it coming. Some things that I'd experienced in school started to kind of manifest. And what I mean by that is in school, the Christians, right? The ones who went to the Bible study club before school or after school, they were exclusive. They had their own little gang, and if you were not on the same page as they were, then you weren't really a part of the gang, and you wouldn't be hanging out. It was just very exclusive. They would stick their nose up at things, and the people the kids who were known for being the druggies, the ones that wore the studded belts and the skateboards and, the Slipknot t-shirts, and they had the hair and the fingernails, and those were the ones who would always ask me, hey, how's your day going? How are you? And so on a very subconscious level, again, something that I was not aware of yet, I was learning that Christianity and Christians were bad people when it comes to love. And it was the ones that your parents told you not to hang out with. Those were the ones who were showing love to their neighbors. Those were the ones who cared about and gave value and appreciation for the people around them. And so here I am locked in this barn with 20 other people worshiping God. And I look around and I realize I don't like these people. I don't like Christianity. In fact, I might hate it. And if that's true, what does it mean for my faith? Do I even believe in God anymore? And I know that it's not God's fault that these people are this way. So do I believe it? I don't know. And like I said, I was scared, I was frustrated, angry. Because here I am about to spend 3 months with these people, and I don't know if I belong with them. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to engage. I feel like I'm in the wrong place. And I prayed. It was raining outside. Again, we were in the upper attic, the upper room, and it was raining outside, and I looked outside. And I remember praying, I said, God, if you're real, if you are who I know you to be, or at least who I've been taught that you are, would you please strike that field with lightning? Would you bring down something, a sign that says, yes, I am God and I am here? And there was no lightning. And in hindsight, there's another story in scripture where someone tests the identity of Christ. He says, if you are who you say you are, do this thing. And Christ does not do the thing. So in hindsight, that was maybe not the right prayer to pray. And so I went to bed just very, again, frustrated. I said, I don't think God's real. He didn't answer my prayer. And so I turned on my iPod. At the time, this is when iPod Touch was still a thing, and I turned it on, and I was listening to music, and this song came on while I was sitting in bed just really angry, and this song came on called Madly in Love with You by Sean McConnell. And I'm listening to it, and the words are, I know that you wish you could see me. That's the way it has to be. One day you'll understand, don't lose your faith in me. And I started crying hard. I don't know if I've ever cried that hard in my life. And to me, earlier I told God, this is the way I want you to show up. This is the way I want you to prove that you're real. And he didn't do it. He waited until maybe my guard was down. I don't know. But then he showed up and said, this is the way that I tell you that I'm real. And it's more than you wanted. It's more than you saw coming. And that was the moment I believed. That was the moment. It was no longer the faith of my parents. It was my faith in my reality, because I had gone into this crisis where I might not have kept the faith. On Facebook or social media, I still see all of these non-believers wondering why it's so hard to love people. Like, what is so wrong with loving people? And I look at them and I say, you're absolutely right. you know, and I want so desperately to find these people and reach out to them and say, no, like God is there. Like you're saying the right things. I know you're mad at these people because they're saying the wrong things potentially, but God, I want you to know He shows up.